Donald Trump gave his first TV interview since becoming president 3 days ago. And while citizen John Payne is sort of over it, your more bitter media, Jay Cleveland Payne, has to tell the story because it's a story. It's actually worthy of news, the things he says. It's very important, whether you love him or hate him, to listen to the words that he's saying and watch what he's doing about them because sometimes they make a difference. So let's talk about the sit-down interview that President Trump had with Fox News host Sean Hannity. The first one, as we said, since coming back to the White House. It's only been 3 days, so don't put that much work into it. It took him 3 days to actually sit in front of the cameras with his man, Sean. And he went to a bunch of things. Now, this is sort of a rambling list that ChatGPT gave me before it died on me this morning, so bear with me because it is a rambling list of things that he brought up yesterday in the interview. Let's start off with national challenges. Trump emphasized that the country's problems are all solvable with dedicated time, efforts, and resources, expressing the confidence in addressing these challenges effectively. He can fix them. He can make it work. He has the people and the power and the money to make it work out. Part of that is doing what the leadership unity he has with the Republican Party, and he's praising House Speaker Mike Johnson for his role in unifying Republicans in Congress, highlighting the importance of cohesive leadership in tackling national issues. Now, here's the weird thing about that, real quick, the sidebar on this one. Mike Johnson literally came out of nowhere. He is a House member from my adopted home state, other adopted home state of Louisiana, who was a backbencher, doing basically nothing, a part of some smaller committees, just kind of being there. And then with the ousting of Kevin McCarthy, who had big dreams and ambitions and got that, smashed in his face, has been managing the Republican Party, at least in the House, fairly well, going back and fighting off battles to get him kicked out, fighting off all the strife and whatever, keeping back the March Taylor Greens and the Matt Gaetzes of the world, and making Donald Trump a fan because he's making people do what Trump wants them to do. Some words on FEMA, specifically how FEMA was criticized by the president for performing pretty terribly in the previous administration. Essentially, the Biden administration was bad. Things were better when he ran it before. Will be better again going forward. With the Biden administration dropping the ball on many things, dropping many disasters, including hurricanes and tornadoes that happened fairly recently in the United States. He specifically had some words for California. FEMA's not quite there yet because the fire's still going, but addressing the recent wildfires, he is putting a lot of criticism on Gavin Newsom, blaming him for the water resources and wildlife management. He's done this in the past. He walked with Newsom and talked about raking trees or raking grounds before in the last batch of wildfires when he was actually president. So this is nothing new, nothing unexpected. He's also trying to play a little defense for the folks coming in who are going to run for president after him in 2028, because Gavin Newsom is essentially eyeing that job because he's out of a job, term limited from governor in 2 years. The big ones, immigration policy. Now, the president condemned the immigration policy of the previous administration, basically saying everything Biden did was pretty bad. The words he used as a direct quote was stupidity or hatred of this country. You know where he lies in this one. He pledged to implement the mass deportations and address illegal immigration, which he is doing. He's signing bills. He's putting things out there. He's sending troops to the border to deal with administrative stuff and maybe to kind of watch over those mini prisons he's going to build for the people they're going to detain and send back to wherever they came from. The operations for TikTok, the Chinese-owned app, President Trump says he's going to fix it. He's seeking American investor. They've got now 40 or 75 days to work on that one to get that bot. Many people are actually throwing out money out there, but TikTok doesn't want to play. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank fame says he's got $20 billion ready to go. And ByteDance is like, yeah, we're good. So we'll see how this works out. But 75 days, or I guess probably 73 days, 72 days by this point going forward in this one. And he defended the pardoning of all the January 6th participants, all the individuals, all the hostages, as he calls them, for the January 6th Capitol riot. These are words that all news people, except for the Fox News and the OANs, are saying. But it was a riot. They stormed the Capitol. They beat things up. They broke windows. They attacked police officers. They were chasing around and trying to intimidate, if not attack, members of Congress, House, and Senate. And Trump let them all go. President Trump stated that the participants were protesting what they believed to be a rigged election, and they broke a couple windows. He justified the pardons by highlighting the lengthy sentences and harsh conditions the individuals faced, which was jail time for trespassing and attacking police officers and breaking things in federal buildings. That's a little pause for effect there. The interview actually provided some insights into the priorities of the beginning of his next term, focusing on resolving national issues through decisive action and leadership. Those words written by ChatGPT, as we know, ChatGPT can get kind of crazy. But basically, we do know kind of the idea of what's going forward, a good idea of what's going to happen. Now, we also know that Trump is a top of mind person, and we know in the past, the last person to speak to him essentially has the first thing going out of his mouth and into action at that moment. So in order to make sure that you are getting your things done, you've got to see him very frequently, or talk to him very frequently, or get in front of him with yourself or surrogates very frequently, or attention spans go bye-bye. What do you think about the opening agenda, the opening interview, the opening weeks, the opening week itself, and opening week's expected of work being done by Donald Trump? We've got 4 years of this to go through, so 1,440 days minus 4 is a lot more days. We got a long way to go, so stay limber, stay hydrated, stay on task for this entire thing. But what are your opinions, whether you are down with my Citizen Payne ideas and thinking, man, I'm already over this, or if you're down with my Jay Cleveland Payne ideas and saying, this is interesting, team content will win on this thing, or if you just love the guy just outright and want to say that, comments in the video, comments on YouTube, comments on the email address, conversation inbox, gmail.com, comment away.